Okay, and all the information that I read either in books the past month and all the information I can get online, everybody has recommend that everybody should use a backpack that has two shoulder straps, not the one with the single shoulder straps, and they should have padding on them. And a few reasons are that a backpack is designed to distribute the weight evenly on your body. And of course, another reason is a backpack allows your hands to be free. So if you're, in any case, if you're holding a primary weapon, or if you have to carry a child or do something else, your hands are free. And also a big one too as well, a backpack has the two shoulder straps, and then a lot of them have where it has like a waist strap that you snap to as well. And so that makes it so if anything happens that you've got to book it and run, or you get into some type of altercation, that this thing, you're not going to lose it, and because this is going to this might save your life. So you definitely want to have a backpack for a bug out bag. When I was looking at information about bug out bags, and like I said, I read a book or two, or parts of books or two, and a lot of information on the internet. I didn't know it, so this helped me learn some things. There's actually three different types of backpacks. There's frameless, which this is this particular Field Line Tactical. There's an external frame backpack, and there's an internal frame backpack, and I'll explain the differences in those. So this particular backpack that I have, like I said, this is a Field Line Tactical. I purchased this for like $30 or so, which is not very expensive, and I'll talk a little bit further about it, but this is not one that they actually recommend. Most of the experts recommend ones that has some type of frame, either an external or internal frame. And some of the reasons they tell you not to buy a frameless backpack is they're typically smaller and offer the least support. They're also cheaper to manufacture, and so they're usually cheaper in quality. And you don't want to have something that's cheap in quality that that's going to sustain your life. And I'll get into this one right now. I went against what the book said, and they also recommend that you purchase one locally at a store and get the feel of it and all that. Unfortunately, in my area, I don't have a lot of sporting goods stores, and so I'm having a hard time finding one, but I will definitely get one that I want. But like I said, I purchased this one online, and it was cheap in price, but I had seen these at some of the other Walmarts before, and then the ones in my area stopped carrying them, so I really didn't get a look at them that close. But I liked it because it had a lot of the MOLLE, which I could add on to. But when I got this in the mail, you do get what you pay for, because I got this in the mail in a box, and it was boxed up nicely. And as soon as I took this fastener open, as you can see, this plastic fastener, it was broken already. So I contacted the person that sold it to me, and he said he would replace it for me. But then he wanted me to send pictures of the broken piece and all that. So I told him, it wasn't a ton of money, so I told him I would hold on to it. And what I'm going to use it for is probably like a get-home bag in my car. And then there's something else I'll tell you about that I'm going to use this for. So don't do what I did, and I went totally against what everything that I read, and I bought cheap and bought frameless. And so this is not what to go with, but I'll be using this as some examples until I get the actual one that I want to get. So I talked about the backpack that I purchased was a frameless backpack, and that's not recommended for being used for a bug out bag. So let's talk about the external frame backpacks. The external frame backpacks are known for carrying heavy loads, and they do a very good job at distributing the weight, which helps reduce the fatigue in your upper body and your shoulders and your back. And since I don't have the correct backpack yet, I've got pictures to show you. You can see the external frame on these examples here. There's one there, and you can see the frame there, and there's another one with the frame, and there's another one too as well. And since the external frame backpack is mounted to the external frame, and it's not like a frameless backpack where it's laying against your back, an external frame keeps the backpack from your body and enables you to get air circulation, which is great when it's during the summer months. One complaint that some people might have with an external frame backpack is, since the frame pushes the weight and the load a little bit away from you, it seems like the weight might shift a little bit, or it also seems like it's more bulkier than other backpacks. But in the long run, a lot of people do choose an external frame backpack as their bug out bag. And then the third and last type of backpack that you could use for a bug out bag is what they call an internal frame backpack. And most of the backpacks that you will find in a lot of the sporting goods stores or the high-end stores will be internal frame backpacks. And what's nice about an internal frame backpack is the internal frame keeps the shape and form of the backpack itself. You won't lose any of that. And a lot of the supports are made of metal, some of them are even plastic, and if you can believe it, some of them are even made of foam, but most of them are made of metal. Most of your outdoor type people, hikers and the such, prefer to have an internal frame backpack. Also, they're very close fitting and fit very snug to the body too as well. And then the drawback with it being snug to the body and snug fit is you have poor air circulation, so during the summer it can be a problem. But on the plus side for having one of these backpacks is, since they're such form-fitting, it does reduce the shifting of the load and the balance, especially when you're on uneven terrain. Also, they're very maneuverable and easier to store, and most internal frame backpacks are the choice of a lot of experts and people who are using them for bug out bags. But also, as I said before this, the external ones are very much used too as well. Also, once we get into talking about what you'll be putting inside of it, talking about the size of your bug out bag, the one that I showed earlier, the one that I originally bought, is besides it not being sufficient as quality, it's too small for a 72-hour bug out bag. But also, you don't want to get one that's too large where it won't be, you won't be able to handle it, or whoever it's for won't be able to handle it. So you have to choose one that's right for the person and the size of the person and the amount of weight that's going inside the bug out bag. And what some people do is, instead of shopping for a bug out bag first, they go ahead and get all their items together, and then they figure out what size of type of backpack or bug out bag that they'll need and go that route. So that's something that you might want to consider too as well. It's best to go to a sporting goods store, and preferably someone that can help you with it. I've even read that where some stores will even put some weight inside there, or you can ask them to put some weight so you know how much 30 pounds weighs or 40 pounds weighs and how it feels when you're walking around the store with it. And also, one thing to remember, and this has been said, especially if there's an shtf wrol situation, you don't want to advertise that you have a lot of stuff in your backpack, or have a real fancy looking backpack, or have a lot of stickers or a lot of patches, that say all kinds of stuff on it. The less flashier the better, because when you get into a shtf wrol situation, there's going to be people out there that don't have the provisions that you do, and they'll be willing to do whatever it takes to take it from you. So try not to advertise what you do have, and keep it low key. So not to state the obvious, but features of a bug out bag would be a durable construction. So of course you want to have a bug out bag that will take some abuse, and some things to look out for are reinforced seams and double stitching. And one thing to really check out is the zippers. Make sure you don't have any cheap zippers. I've seen, even plastic type zippers. Make sure they're good quality zippers. And then some backpacks even have or offer watertight zippers, and which is very much recommended for a backpack, for a bug out bag. Also look for a backpack that has a lot of compartments in it. You don't want to have one large sized backpack and then you just have everything just tossed in there. Like the ones that you see before you, these folks have, they're a larger version of what I have, but a different name, better quality, from the Fieldline Tactical I have. But also with Molly attachments, of course, you'll be able to add anything on the outside. Also, something that's very important is to either choose a waterproof or a water resistant type material for your bug out bag. Also, it's recommended, and this is in part of will come along in when we're talking about what to put inside your bug out bag, but it's recommended to get a construction grade trash bag to give you extra water resistance or waterproof in your bug out bag too as well. And I did mention earlier on, I can't remember if it was in this part 2 or in part 1, that your bug out bag really needs to have padded shoulder straps on it. And it's also recommended that it has a waist strap on it too as well, because that'll help take some of the weight and support off of the shoulders if you have a waist belt on it. Okay, so that's going to be the end of Bug Out Basics Part 2. I believe I'm going to make a Bug Out Basics Part 3 before we start getting into what we're going to put inside of these, because we have to talk about most of this I've been talking about has been just for one single person, but then I want to talk a little bit about bug out bags for if you have family members and who should have one and things like that. So there most likely will be a Bug Out Bag Basics number 3. So I hope this has been very helpful to people who are considering doing this. It's been very helpful for myself. I've learned a lot so far from doing a lot of the research and reading some of the books and research I've been doing online. And like I said, this is for somebody that's just starting out and wants some information and don't have time to read a book or something like that. And like I said, I'm hopefully I can help some people out, and along helping myself, like I said, too as well. So please look out for the third in this series of Bug Out Basics 3, and that should end the basics part for the bug out bag. And then look forward further in the series coming up when we'll talk about the basic 12 types of categories of things that will go inside a bug out bag and how to use them and things like that. So thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody's support. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please get the word out there about the Mr. Troy Hunter channel. Please tell your friends, your families, and your co-workers. I can't do this without you guys. I appreciate, like I said, everybody's support. And as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.